think you can experience a lot of redirection in this business, and so it's important to always do things that validate your self-worth and remind you that you deserve all the things. Yeah.
Can you also tell us about your favorite self-care products that you do?
Self-care products. What do I like to do? I mean, I guess I just got into like facials and like grooming and like getting my hair done. So those types of things are kind of cool that I like to do. But I don't know if I have like a skincare ritual or routine. But usually, my night for like how I wind down is, I'll wrap my hair up in my bonnet and I'll put on my AirPods and I'll chill on the couch and watch some TikTok videos about like space. I'm obsessed with space, by the way. I don't know why. So that's kind of some of my ritual that I like to do. I find solace, and I have LEDs all around my house, so it's like a disco club. So yeah.
Personal one that you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I know that you've been thrown out of your house because of what happened. I don't want to say it because.
Oh no, it's okay. We can have real talk. I'm all about real talk. You talking about when I was disowned by my family when I came out as trans? Oh, okay, yeah.
I know people get sensitive about that.
No, I look at life that as every experience in our life leads us to the moment I think that we're in. It doesn't mean that we should have to go through bad things or experience trauma or pain in order to become successful or stuff like that. But I don't regret anything that's happened in my life because I love my life now. And I think every step in my journey has led me here. So I embrace talking about, growing up in 7 foster homes and first being disowned for coming out as gay, because I thought that might have been like an easier thing, but it was a lot deeper. And I realized I was trans in high school. And, that didn't really go over well with my family, so they, sort of disowned my, I think that's my bad. I was about to say something.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
You like this a lot too, but.
It's okay every now and then. I'm not trying to encourage, people.
That's okay.
Yeah, but no, it started with, you're not invited to birthdays, Christmases, and then you can't come to church anymore, you can't sing in the choir, and then it just turned into sort of being isolated from that side of my family. And, it's been 13 years and not one single phone call. So, but I've never been happier, because I think that chosen family is important and being around people that love you and support you. And I'm creating a life, and I'm gonna love my kids and the people that are in my life much more, no matter what they are, no matter who they are or who they want to be. So I embraced it. It was a tough journey going through all that in foster care. I mean, my sister's here, and the stories that we can't really talk about our past because we'll end up crying about it, we'll end up laughing about it. But it was hard. But there's a lot of people going through things. It doesn't mean that the things that I went through aren't valid. It just means that you take the life that you're dealt and you try to make the best of it. So.
And what was it like living out of the streets when you got thrown out?
Well, we're from Chicago, so it's cold. I was like house hopping at 17, 18, I believe, in Chicago, and it was cold. And then someone was like, "Oh, you should go to LA and be an actress." They were like, "You're really funny." And I had never heard of an actress because when you grow up in the hood, you don't really know about these things. You don't know about media. You don't know about entertainment. So I pretty much just packed up my one suitcase and came to LA and lived in a shelter for 3 months. And then I would say, off and on in a shelter in a group home and homeless for 2 years. When I first moved here, which was 13 years ago. And, but during that time I went to college and studied drama, and I was doing background work on set. So I was like always determined to like prove all those people wrong, prove my family wrong, that I didn't need them. And then I realized that I didn't need to do that. I was just doing it because I loved working in this business. So.
And what made you inspired to do the acting, writing, and the singing, and all that kind of stuff? Like, how did it first started?
Well, I think I've always had a passion, right? I remember being in 8th grade, and I was the only male at the time that wanted to do the musical Once on This Island. And it was like a time when people thought boys doing theater and arts was like, you're just gay, like it's not a cool thing. And I remember that early, that I was so passionate about doing it, and I did it. And I think that's where it started. Then in high school, I did show choir, and I was really shy because I was still hiding my identity. And then I think when I got to LA and I was just transitioned, it was like starting over like a whole new person. So I had this confidence and this newfound like love for myself, to where I just thought the sky was the limit. And so I think that was the passion. And when you're in California, in LA, I think it's just so inspiring. Like there's just palm trees and the mountains, and there was the Hollywood sign. I mean, I think it's all trash now. But back then I was like, wow, you know, that was sort of my inspiration for like, I really want to be in this business. And I'll tell you, I think there was a shift that happened. Because at first I just wanted to be famous. I just wanted to like go on red carpets and be like, oh, I'm a superstar. And when I started working on TV, I would get messages from other trans kids all around the country who were dealing with suicidal issues and mental health issues. And they were telling me how inspired they were by, oh, I hate talking about this, about seeing me on TV. And so that kind of is the thing that really like changed my perspective. And I was like, oh, maybe this is my purpose. Like maybe I'm supposed to, yeah. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when these people come in and tell you that you inspired them, what do you usually get out of that?
Well, I think some people would take it as like a huge responsibility, but I welcome the responsibility, because I think given the circumstances that I've been through in my life, I feel like I can power through it, and I can be that voice for them. So I take it with like grace, and I take it as it's a huge responsibility, but I welcome it, because you know, lives are at stake. You know, the average life expectancy for Black trans women like me, that look like me, that talk like me, is 35. So that's really, really sad. And I think media has the power to shift the way people look at individuals like myself, and people of all backgrounds. I think that's why representation is important. And I'm doing like all I can to make sure that I represent my community, and people all around the world get to know who we really are. Yeah.
It is. You are a lifesaver for people who are dealing with coming out of the closet and dealing with people that want to be trans.
Thank you. I wonder what it would have been like if, when I was growing up, I saw myself on TV, or I saw myself in books or in entertainment. Maybe I wouldn't have wanted to take my own life at 16 years old, you know? So I think that's the importance of really, really just representing all of us and making space.
And another question.
Sure.
What was your favorite role during show business?
Ah.
Like character or anything, whatever comes to your mind.
I will say, okay, I have two. So Empire, I don't know if you guys watched that show Empire. It's like a music show. And yeah, very good. Okay.
A little bit.
Okay,
A little.
okay, good.
My dad watches it.
Yeah? Oh, good, good. Well, I came at the end of the show, but it was one of my favorite shows. And I dreamed of like always being on there. And so when I got the call and I was able to do it, it was so much fun because I'm also a singer, and so I like singing.
Well, you do have a beautiful voice.
Well, thank you. But I got to sing, and it was really cool because the show shoots in Chicago, where I'm from. So it was so nice to like be back home where it all started, where I experienced so much trauma and so much pain. And here I am now going back to live my dreams. You know, I dreamed of being on stage and being on screen, and like now I'm back in my hometown, and my sister came, down to the set, and it was just a surreal moment that like I'm living proof that like anything is possible, right? Like you can have whatever you want, you can go after your dreams. Like it's not gonna always be easy, but I would say that Empire was my favorite show because of those reasons. And then MacGyver, because I got to play just a character, right? For 5 episodes, we didn't talk about my transness, we didn't talk about, my family or any trauma. Like I got to be an electrical engineer with 5 master's degrees on primetime TV, helping people crack codes and solve murders. Like it was so cool. And so I'm still fighting because I want to do that more and more. But I think that is so cool to get to see all of us with our different backgrounds doing all types of work, right? And not just reducing us to our identities or how we identify. So, yeah.
What was it like being back in the stage when you were helping all the crew?
On that set?
Yeah, on that side. Since you brought it up.
I won't talk about Empire behind the scenes, but because there's a lot of drama. It's a drama, so there's a lot of drama. MacGyver was cool. There were some sets that I worked on that were fantastic, and where you had a fantastic crew. Transparent was one of those. It was my first show, and when I tell you the first day, we all were at Sloss and Swap Meet, which I frequented a lot when I first was homeless. We all sat in a group. It was about a group of 100 crew, cast, directors, everybody. And we would put a box in the middle of the set, and anybody could come up and share what they were going through or how they were feeling on that day. And I remember that was my first day. I was scared. I had never been on a set where I was gonna be the star for the day. And I just remember like feeling really loved and safe and protected. And I think that's important for us all to know that the spaces and environments that we're in are safe and that we can be who we are and we're not gonna be judged. And so that really set the precedence for like what I expect going forward when I work on projects. Yeah.
So can you tell us about can you give us like encouragement and advice for people who want to get into show business? Sure. Don't do it. No, I'm kidding. Woo! No, I'm just kidding. Listen, as challenging as it is at times, and it is very challenging, there's nothing else I'd rather do. I don't want to go wash dishes. I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to do anything else but tell stories, be a storyteller. And the advice that I would give is that there really is no roadmap, right? There's no blueprint. There's no, you get an agent and everything happens for you. I say that you can start today. If you have an idea and you want to be a writer, then just write it. If you want to be a singer, get on TikTok and just record yourself in the bathroom singing, because it might just go viral. And Brandon knows a lot about this. He knows a lot about social media, so he can tell you, he'll fill you in on all the details. But, you know, I just say there's no roadmap. And I think connections are important. Getting out and meeting folks and staying in touch with them. Because I do believe that there are people out there that want to support us and that want our dreams to come true. So I just say if you have a dream and an idea, just do it, and don't be afraid to ask for what you want. I literally ask for everything that I want, and sometimes I get it, and most times I don't, but that's okay, because you just go around the back door if the front door isn't open. So that would be my advice.
And another thing that's been on my mind.
Yes.
What? Since the COVID happened in 2020, how did you deal with that, being as an actress in the COVID times?
COVID. Well, I know COVID was a really, really terrible thing. I lost a lot of friends during COVID, a lot of friends that were like under the age of 40. So it was a really, really terrible thing. And the one positive I guess I can say happened was I decided to make a lifestyle change. I used to look a lot different, so you probably don't recognize me if y'all watch The Real. But I decided to become a healthier person and start taking care of my body, and working out and just in dancing and eating better. And the pandemic really forced me to look at my life and say, okay, I need to change up some things. And so in doing that, I felt mentally that I became a stronger, healthier, happier person. And I can say that career-wise, I felt like, and I guess since we're here and we're talking about the realities of the business, I felt like I saw an increase in the number of film opportunities I got. And so I got offered a lot of film roles, but TV-wise, I haven't really been offered much since then. And I think that is because Hollywood, for one, they're not interested in most of our stories. They're just not, which is why it's important for us to create our own content and to create the stories that we want to tell. And so that's kind of the thing that I noticed from the pandemic. And I think that's what kind of fueled me into writing more and filmmaking, because I'm not gonna wait around for this business or someone else to validate my worth or my talent. And I also don't want to be 50 by the time I get a leading role. So I'm gonna write it myself. And the pandemic really, really put me into that mind space of like, I'm gonna start writing, I'm gonna start creating, I'm gonna start developing and producing. And so that was the one positive thing that happened from COVID.
And what about the thing about the writing strike and the actor strike? Since
Right.
shows and everything else has been canceled, how did you deal with that one?
It's interesting, right? We've been through a lot. The strike was interesting. I didn't really feel affected by the strike, and I'll tell you, because it's not like my phone is ringing off the hook. It wasn't like I was working before then. So the strike didn't affect me much. I just worked my 3 and 4 other jobs that us actors do. But I hope with what the strike did is that I hope that it allows for more equity for people like us. I feel like we're the only profession that, you have to work 3 and 4 other jobs to pay for that job. And I think that has to change, because there's so much money and so much, just so much money out there that these folks have, these gatekeepers have in this business. And we also want a piece of the pie. And I think that we deserve a piece of the pie. So yeah, the strike was interesting, but I just kept writing.
I mean, most people put their passions on writing and making the scripts coming true, and then all of a sudden they just go out and cancel it. Why do you do this? I mean, you said it was good, now you cancel it?
I know, they've been canceling a lot of shows, predominantly a lot of shows of color. But I don't think that that's anything that's new. I think that we've always had to fight a little bit harder you know, underrepresented groups and voices. I think we always have to fight for our stories, and so, but I think we're resilient, and I think that, you know, you can't, this business can't exist without our stories. Yeah.
And how did you juggle between the difference between a singer and an actress, along with the writing and the